October 2nd, 2025. I can't believe we're already in October. And we're going to take a moment of silence to reflect or pray. Okay, our flag salute today is going to be by Mary Jenkins, and our four-way test is by Carla Atkinson.
Please join me in our flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do.
If it is true, is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you guys so much. Just a reminder that we do record our meetings and can be found on our YouTube channel, Norman Rotary Club. We have a couple of visitors today. We have Larry Hazelwood with us. He is a former member of our club, and apparently I cannot speak today, but is now a member of the Club 29 of Oklahoma City. So, welcome on. And Lynn Weber has a guest.
I'd like everybody to meet my friend Mary Houston. Mary is a retired school teacher from the Maydale District, and she was honored with the award from the Foundation of Excellence in the year 2000. And Mary also was the organist of the Harlem Methodist for years, 6 or 7 years. Anyway, welcome, Mary.
Did I miss any other visitors? I don't think so. I want to make sure. Okay. I have just a quick announcement, and then basically I'm going to turn the rest of this meeting over to Jamie Swain, who's going to have a couple of announcements and introduce our Red Badge talks today. And then we have a fun little, a fun little thing for you to do at the end of the meeting. Okay, on your table, there's lots of things. Jamie's going to talk about a couple of them, but just a last reminder, if you haven't had a chance to sign up for Rotary Readers, there is a form on your table. If one gets used, if you need another one, I can help you out. I'm going to be turning those names in this week to the schools, and then that should get started. It's never too late to join. You can join at any time, but if you are interested in starting off and kicking off the year with that, go ahead and sign up. And we'll be in Jackson Elementary and Madison Elementary. Okay, that's all I got. Ms. Jamie? Actually, I'm going to, I'm sorry. We have some thank you notes from LaTour today, so I'm just going to start passing those around.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. So like Liz mentioned, we do have quite a few things on your table today, one of which is committee sign-ups. So we have lots of options there. If you can take a look at those, I'll be reaching out to anyone who signs up later this week and connecting you with the chair of that committee. If you have any questions about what those committees are or how involved they are, please feel free to reach out and we will point you in the right direction. We also, fitting theme today with Red Badge Talks, we are in need of some more mentors. So I have a mentor sign up on the table as well. Mentorship is a great way to connect with our newer members, and it gives the newer members an opportunity to connect with our club's values and get some of that historical context. The other thing that the coordinated board met last night, and we will be doing the tech presentation to Bridges the 3rd week in October. I don't have the exact date just yet, hoping that it comes out in the next week so we can let everyone know. At that time, I believe we are going to do all of the presentations. So Bridges will obviously be the star, but we will make the announcement for how much the clubs are getting at that time as well. So very exciting. Positive news, but we do have to wait just a little bit longer. So, let's see. Okay, I don't think I have any other announcements. Do you want to go ahead and get started? First, red badge talk we have is from Donita Dixon.
Good morning, afternoon. Okay. My name is Donita Dixon, and I'm honored to be with you here today. A lot of faces I recognize, some are new to me. So I'm from a small town in southwest Oklahoma. So I was brought up with my dad and my mom and my brothers. So my dad knew a gentleman named Sam Walton. He owned a couple of stores, a little store called Walmart. And so I loved retail. My dad was regional director, so he would travel around to what we now know as super centers. So it was really fantastic. I loved inventory time because Dad was always in the stores, and I could run up and down the wall aisles. I knew all the floor plans. I thought it was great. Mom, however, did not. She said, kind of gave my dad the ultimatum, said, hey, I didn't sign up to be a single mom. So to raise 3 rambunctious kids on her own in southwest Oklahoma, and so my dad did what any good man would do. He left his 9 to 5. However, so he left his 9 to 5. My parents opened up a Mexican restaurant, and so that was the beginning of my service industry. So they had the restaurant from 1995 to 2002. It was there in Hobart, Oklahoma. Still a fan favorite. I get asked often when I'm home, when I'm going to come back home and open up the restaurant. Like, guys, it was a really long time ago. But they still ask. My brother just had his 20-year class reunion. Made me feel really old because it was my youngest brother. And they asked for us to do some fajitas with them. I guess my dad still has it. But man, I haven't worked that hard in a long time. So it's really nice to be back together in my hometown to be able to do that. So with us cooking and doing some of those things, it was just that I left home at 18. I traveled with a group. We did anti-drug school programs. I was really surprised that my mom at 18, remember this is pre-9/11, pre-cell phones, and would allow me to gallivant across the country. So I did that for a couple years. It allowed me to see most of the 50 states outside of 2, which I still have not been to, Hawaii and Alaska. So maybe I'll get to those at one point. From there, I came back home. I went to school at WSI down in Altus, Western Oklahoma State College. I got my business degree. And when we went and got my associate's degree, I went to OBU. I spent my junior year there. After OBU, I went to Southwestern, and I was in my senior year of college. I had a friend that was a college hire for some company called Marriott. I didn't know what it was. Again, small town. I said, sure, I'll go help you move. And so I went to go help her move, and while we were down there, she just happened to work for this company, and it was a JW down in Houston, right across from the Galleria. And while we were there, I just happened to meet Mr. Marriott. He said, you take care of your associates, they're going to take care of your guests, and then in turn, your employees are going to keep those guests to come back. I said, Mom, this is exactly what you used to tell us as kids. And so I was really excited. And so she told us about that. And so my mom was really excited that I left my senior year of college. So yeah, and then I did not go back. But one of the things, so you guys know Eve. So I met Eve Scatteroo down in Houston, kind of followed them here. When I found NCED, it was telling me, there was this 1,000-room hotel in Norman. And I was like, you mean the prison that sits off the north side of Highway 9? So I made the trek to Norman. I thought maybe I'd stay a year. Then Katrina happened, and then the stock market crashed, and then I met a boy, and here I am, and Norman became home. So for you guys that know Eves, he introduced me to Rotary. We did a lot of fun things with Rotary. And one of the things that I want to mention, after nearly 2 decades out at NCD, I returned with a renewed passion, not just for hospitality, but for community. And that's something I do not only as their assistant general manager, but as a mother. I have a young daughter, and something that we teach is like, how can we give back? We're not only engaged for each other, but what can we do? It's something that she learns in her school at Lamont and also with her church. It's something that we have a renewed passion for. And also, this is a new part for me on my little elevator speech, NCD is not just a hotel. So we're part of the heartbeat that's here in Norman. We want to make sure that we're continuing to partnership with those that we have already partnership with, and that we want to make sure that we're helping individuals and families in need. We've been involved a long time with a lot of people, especially when youth is at the helm. But one of the things that this is just the beginning. So we're inviting our staff, our guests, and our partners to join with us as we go back into the community. We want to make a meaningful impact. Together we can show what it truly means to serve, and not just our guests, but within our community. Again, I'm just a small town girl that moved from one small town to another small town. Just ask my mom, we're at Crafts, and we saw a lot of ex-sober people that are now here and made their home. And again, thank you for welcoming me to your Rotary family. I'm excited to serve alongside of you, and we're going to be united for good.
You did an excellent job. Thank you so much, Juanita. Carla Atkinson is up next.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for a second and think back to a time or a circumstance in your life that you would say was a trajectory for you, that it changed your course, changed the path that you followed at the time. Okay, you can open your eyes. For me, that time was 1984, when my mom got remarried and my brother, sister, and I moved to Norman. And that was a pivotal point for me. I had previously been in what was then a small bedroom community west of Oklahoma City, and moving to Norman was pivotal and changed my life because when I got here, I found out that it was okay to be a girl who was smart and loved books and had a few opinions. So that wasn't maybe the way I would have been able to be myself in my other schools. So coming here really, I feel like I blossomed when I got to Norman. I went to West Mid High School. Any West Wildcats in the room? Okay, good. Best school ever, I think. And after West, I went to Norman High School. Then I went to the University of Oklahoma, where I majored in elementary education. And then I also got a master's degree from OU in education administration. So once I graduated from OU, I got a job in Norman Public Schools. The time back then was really a different story as far as education and hiring teachers. And today we're getting better, but we have to really work to find good quality educators to put in front of our students. But back in the early 90s, there were plenty of us to go around, so it was very hard to get a job in Norman. And in my dream for my life, I was going to teach 3rd grade, and I was going to teach that at either Jefferson Elementary or Jackson Elementary, where I student taught. But alas, again, I think there were 10 postings that summer, and there were probably 80 of us to apply for them. So I did get a job in Norman, though, and that was at Longfellow Middle School, where I taught 7th grade language arts. And so that was a big shift from my 3rd grade friends that I thought I would be spending my days with. But turned out that I loved middle school and stayed there for quite a while. When we opened up Norman North, I moved to Whittier Middle School and taught there until I had my 2nd son, and then I stayed home for a while. Then I went back to work, and I went to Cleveland when my son started kindergarten, and I was the gifted resource coordinator there. And then after that, I decided I was ready to step into administration. So again, back to my middle school love and passion. I went to Alcott Middle School as an assistant principal, where I was for 5 years. And then in 2016, I got a job going back to Jefferson. Remember, one of the places I wanted to teach 3rd grade. So I got to go back to Jefferson as the principal, and that was just like the most amazing thing that I could ever, I was so blessed. And so I did that for 7 years, and I often said, I will never leave here. I'll probably retire from this school and just stay right here. Well, another job came along, and I thought, oh gosh, that sounds really fun. I would like to do that. Thought about it and talked to a few people, and so then I stepped into the role of the Family Engagement Coordinator for Norman Public Schools, which is what I do now. I've been in this role for 3 years. And everybody says, what's a family engagement coordinator? I still don't know, really. I wear a lot of hats. The hard part of my job that I get to do is
I work with our unhoused students in Norman, so that would be children from pre-K all the way up to seniors who are homeless or their families experiencing homelessness. And last year we finished the year with 216 of those kiddos that we knew about in Norman. But right now, today, we're at 81, so we're looking to stay on track with that, unfortunately. So, you know, we can argue, and I feel I have strong opinions about homelessness in Norman, and I know that it's a thing a lot of people disagree on, but what I do know is that where my heart lies with it is that no child chooses to be in that situation. So that's why I say I get to serve those kids, and I love doing it. Then the other part of my job is making contacts with our community. So when Dr. Reno sat down with me after I came into this role, and he started talking about some of the things he wanted me to do to engage with the community, and he said, I know this wasn't in the original plan, but would you be interested? And I said, oh my goodness, I love NPS, and I love this community, so I think it's perfect. So then that's when I started coming to Rotary. I was supposed to come in this place when he couldn't be here, but I've seen you guys for about 6 months now, I think. So I really enjoyed getting to know everybody, and this is just one way for me to be on the forefront of working with you all and serving our community. On a personal note, I am married to Cole Atkinson, and he is an administrator at Norman Technology Center. We have a blended family of 5 boys, yes, 5 boys, and 1 daughter-in-law who, praise goodness, she is wonderful, and I love her, and she gives me somebody to hang out and shop with and do all the fun things that I like to do. We have two dogs and a cat named Stevie Nicks that we got at a funeral. That's a funny story I'll tell you some other day. But I am really happy to be here and look forward to getting to know you guys and work with you in our community for a long time. Thank you.
I think we are just so lucky to have such dynamic new members, so I'm just so excited about that. Our next one is going to be Rebecca Delsey.
My name is Rebecca Delsing. I am a manager for First Fidelity Bank. One funny fact about me, it could be funny, is I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was in high school. And I have been working at a bank probably most of my life. So people laugh, they're like, you work at a bank and you're dyslexic with numbers. So I work with numbers. I have to be very careful at times. So I grew up in a small town called Gore, Oklahoma. Steve Owens was actually born there he lived there for 2 years. We have a sports complex named after him here, so it's really cool. Right out of high school, I decided to work at a bank. I wasn't gonna work at a gas station or a restaurant there, so I worked for Armstrong Bank. Anyone from Armstrong here, or used to work here, or work at Armstrong? So yes, I started at Armstrong in Eastern Oklahoma. It's really weird to look outside my window at Brookhaven and see an Armstrong Bank there. So I decided to move to Oklahoma City because if I wanted to meet someone I'm not related to, Oklahoma City is probably the way to go. So I moved to Oklahoma City and I started working for the airlines. I was like, I'm not gonna go back into banking. And so I got to travel a lot, and then my brother, who is a banker, he goes, why don't you go back into banking? That's what you like doing. So I started banking again. One thing I forgot to tell you, growing up, I'm the oldest of 6 kids. And I have 3 brothers that are Eagle Scouts. Really proud of them. And service was something that we did all the time. I helped out on the Eagle projects. We fixed up a couple of cemeteries. I know that we fixed up playgrounds. So that was my first introduction to service. And that's just something that's always stuck with me, that I like to serve people. So I went back into banking, and it wasn't until I got to First Fidelity that it was very emphasized that they want us to serve in the community. And I signed up for ambassadors for Norman. I have a couple of them that I serve with ambassadors. was able to network and do a lot of stuff in the community there. And then I also serve on a nonprofit board called Transition House, and that's where I actually met Liz, and that's how I got to Rotary. But the really good thing about, I don't know if you guys know about Transition House, it's been in the community for a long time. It's mental health and substance use. And it's a program for inpatient and outpatient. And the city of Norman and all the areas do need something like this. So I really got big on serving people and trying to help them out, and I enjoy it. So that's one thing I'm passionate about. The other thing is I have two daughters. I have an 18-year-old who attends OU, and then I have a 15-year-old who is a sophomore at Moore High School. And the other thing I serve is as a band booster. How many of you guys ever got stuck in a booster group? It's a lot of work. I told them I'm not going to be the treasurer because I work at a bank. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do that. But I serve every Friday. You'll see me serving about 150 students. And then you'll see me pushing out props on the football field. And then I also competition. Saturday, every other Saturday with competitions. But it's really fun to be able to serve with your kids and to be able to serve in different ways in the community. So that's why I was excited with Rotary. I didn't know really what Rotary was until probably when I started working at First Fidelity. All I know is that the managers would leave at noon, go to a meeting, and come back. So I just have to say, you guys are very welcoming here, very friendly. It's nice to see so many different people in different areas, and this is probably shorter than 5 minutes, so I'm sorry, but I told you I talk fast. I'm just excited to get to know you guys and whatever I can do with Rotary. So, thank you.
Okay. Up next we have Brady Phillips.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brandy Phillips. I'm going to try not to read my notes word for word. My talk's going to look a little different. It's going to be more about me personally and where I am today and not so much where I came from. I'm married. My husband's name is Chris, and we have 4 kids, and we're all born and raised in Norman. My husband and I are both business owners, and he is a pharmacist. He owns a pharmacy called Chris's Express Drugs, so some of you might know him. A lot of people know me through him. But I am also a business owner. I own a pediatric occupational therapy clinic here in Norman. It's called Unlimited Potential Pediatrics. I actually started my business 6 years ago now, after working for Norman Public Schools for about 6 years. I would go to these meetings and work with these kiddos and families and hear all the time in every meeting how so many of these kids with exceptional needs need more therapy, more private therapy, more than what the school can offer or things that the school doesn't specifically work on. And I just kept going home to my husband and saying, gosh, I just wish we could do more. And he was like, why don't you start your own business? And I was like, what? That sounds hard. But I just prayed about that a lot and talked to one of my best friends who was actually a colleague. And we just decided, okay, we're going to do this. So we did that 6 years ago. That got off to a great start. COVID happened. Luckily, we're in healthcare and we were considered essential, so our business continued to grow. But while my profession means a lot to me, it's probably how most people in the community know me. My passion, and I really pride myself on being a woman-owned, having a woman-owned business and employing working mothers. Everyone that works for us has kiddos or wants to have kiddos, and it's really, really fun to be able to support that and be understanding of different seasons of life and how that we can kind of do it all as moms and wives. But while that's something that I'm super passionate about, my career, my family is actually what matters to me most. And through that, I'm going to explain how I came to know Rotary. So I do have 4 kiddos. Our family dynamic is kind of unique. We have 2 older kids, a boy and a girl, 28, 25. That's going to blow your mind, but yes. So I actually have like a joke with my friends, like when that sign up genius comes out, it's like, I'm doing plates and napkins because I already did all that. So, with our kiddos, suddenly, like we literally spent the last 2 decades traveling around the country for competitive sports. That's like what we did, all we knew. Part of why it was so great for me to work in the schools was having like my kids' school schedule, so it was awesome. But suddenly this year, in early spring, my son, who was very good at basketball, decided he did a 180 and was like, just kidding, all these years we've done this, I'm not gonna do that anymore, I'm gonna focus on architecture because I am really smart and I'm creative and I feel like that's really my future. I'm probably not gonna be in the NBA. And so he decided not to do that in college. Great decision. At the same time, my daughter, who's a sophomore, said, I'm not playing volleyball anymore either. I'm gonna do leadership and focus on college prep. So my husband and I were like, wait a minute, like, what are we gonna do on the weekend? So we decided the life pack is open and maybe we could just go hang out at the embassy suites and go to some games with some kids we may or may not know, and that would be normal, right? But instead of that, my daughter, who sucks me into everything from boot camp to, I don't know, Orange Theory, but now we're doing tennis. And so every Thursday night, my husband and I join other people who try to be good at sports to do tennis. And they're actually all really good. I'm not good, but I can hit the ball, so there's hope. I find myself with this unusual thing called free time. And so earlier this year, my dad starts dating this amazing person, and I'm like, what's this happening? She's so amazing. And I notice on her social media that she's traveling everywhere. She's doing all these fun things that looks like ways that she's serving the community, and she's meeting people. And I'm like, Laura, like you're in Canada this week, and last week you were in Kentucky, and what do you do? And how do you find time? And she said, well, I'm a member of this club called the Rotary. She's actually like the governor-elect, something, I don't even know all the Rotary things yet, I'm so new, but she's up there, and she's important and awesome. And so she's like, I was like, tell me more about this. So when I see her, she starts explaining, she's like, I think you have a heart for this. I think this would fit you perfectly. You need to join Rotary. So she told me how to get connected. I sent off an email. Liz, who happens to know me or recognize my name because our daughters went to school together, called me and said, I saw your name come across. And as it turns out, one of my favorite things to do when I'm not with my kids or my 2 grandkids, that'll blow your mind too, is reading. I love to read and I love to travel. And I love to travel around going to bookstores. I just got back from like a 2-week trip to Europe where I got to meet authors and go to different bookstores. And Liz was like, guess what? Our group focuses some on literacy with kids. I love kids, it's my career. I love reading. And so I was like, okay, I'm listening, God, like this is where I need to be. And so that is the story of basically how I came to know Rotary. So this year, I kind of made, instead of New Year's resolutions, I decided I'm starting a support group with my business, which I did. I am gonna try some new things, tennis, and I'm gonna join some clubs and actually spend some time doing some things outside of my children, because while some of my friends are freaking out over being empty nesters, I'm like, I've been a mom for a really long time, and I'm really excited to do things that are also interesting to me. Is that you? And so anyway, I'm really glad to be here and figure out how my personality fits and where my skills can be used to help serve the community. So thank you.
I think that was great timing on our committee sign-up part. So we've got all this wonderful talent to use. Kyle Chapman is our last one.
How are y'all doing? My name's Kyle Chapman. Jamie kind of put me on the spot right now. So, to give you a little background on me. So, I'm from Patrick Springs, Georgia. I ran cross country and track. I got a scholarship to a college up in North Georgia where I ran for 2 years. Decided I wanted to be done with running, so I went and transferred to Georgia State University. At Georgia State, they had Army ROTC. I wanted to go to the Navy ROTC, but they didn't have it, so I was like, okay, I'll sign up. This is back in 2008, before the recession happened, and they were handing out scholarships like hotcakes. I went to the field a couple times, and I was like, I hate this. So much. It's cold down in Fort Benning in November. So at the end of the semester, they gave me the contract and like, you want to sign up? And I'm like, sure. I signed up to join the Army and commission as an officer after I graduated college. So, like, Liz put me on the spot when I first joined ROTC. Like, I didn't do the basic training or anything like that. Because I could run, and we were so close to Fort Benning, our instructor's like, Chapman, do you want to go to airborne? And I'm like, what's airborne? And so, a month later, I'm down in airborne school, didn't know anything about the Army, didn't have the right haircut, nothing. So, I did my 5 jumps, and I got my airborne wings. So I commissioned in 2011, went down to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for a Field Basic Officer Leadership course. It was my first time being in Oklahoma. Being from Atlanta, I was like, I do not like it here at all, especially down in Lawton. And so I was here for a little bit, then I went to New York, Fort Drum, and deployed with the 10th Mountain Division. Got to do fun stuff. They had a documentary on our deployment, the fighting seasons on Amazon. You can see these ears in episode 1, like I think minute 10. So that was pretty cool. So we got to do that, fight Taliban, it was fun, and then came back, got married, met my wife. Classic love story. I got off the airplane, I was like the first people back from deployment, like all my buddies were still in transit. And I placed my apartment like on the main street, and in New York you have the windows open in the summer because it's like nice and cool. And I heard girls laughing at the bar downstairs, so I like went down there, met my wife, talked to her, and yeah, we got married 6 months later, and then I went to Captain Career Course back at Fort Sill. We lived in Elgin this time, and now that I had a family, I loved it, Oklahoma, and I decided I wanted to stay here. I had my daughter, Kylie, she was born with me, County Community Hospital, and then they sent me to Korea. I was in Korea for a year, hated it, and so I transitioned out of the active Army, and went to OU for law school. At OU, did law school, yeah, it was fun. I'm lying. But yeah, passed the bar in 2021, started working at a bank in Nichols Hills. While I was on active duty, I went to Army Ranger School way too many times and didn't come back with the tab. So in the Guard, because I transitioned from active to the Guard, I found out the National Guard had Ranger School slots. I always maintained like that standard of running under 5 miles under 40 minutes. So I tried out, didn't tell my wife, get a slot as a 35-year-old major, and I go have lunch with my wife, and I'm like, hey, how do you feel about me going back to Ranger School? She's like, you're nuts, you're too old, but are you gonna regret it the rest of your life? And I said, yeah. And so my wife's a saint, she supported me quitting my job and going to Ranger School, and I stayed there a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I came back, and 4th time's a charm. Came back, graduated, I started my own law practice because it was hard to juggle the National Guard and working. Done that for a couple years, started doing family law, hated it, now I do estate planning, and now I'm owning a law firm with my partner, Mallory Stender. It's family law, I do the estate planning. Currently I'm getting my MBA. That's the cool thing about the Army, they just keep paying for your education. And so, doing that, I'll be done this summer. I have 2 daughters. Cadence, she's a sophomore at OU studying microbiology. My little one, Kylie, she's gonna be a star. She does dance and ballet. She did when she was 7, she did the OKC Nutcracker. She was a little cherub. And then she was a little gingerbread man, which was fun. She could do back handsprings. It was fun because she's so tiny, because the age limit was like 12 to 13. And so it looked like they rolled up that little last piece of dough and made a little gingerbread out of. So she did it all. She had a little solo coming out, doing back handsprings out of there. My wife, she's a nurse practitioner at the VA. Why I chose to join Rotary, I met RJ Harris. He was a friend of mine, and his friend was Tom, and then they just convinced me to come in, join Rotary, and been doing it for 8 months now, 9 months now, and it's been great to meet all
members and thanking them for their efforts. I think it speaks a lot to the health of this club and what fantastic new members we have been able to add, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. Us as a club is a fantastic place to be, and it proves that they wanted to come join us, and that's wonderful. Liz has one more announcement, and then we'll have our little activity.
Okay, I forgot to say this earlier. You have heard us talk about launching our companion club, which will be part of our club. It will just be members who meet at a different time in a different location. Probably in the evening is what we're looking at. Details to be determined by the group that forms in our companion club. But the launch of that is next Wednesday, October 8th at Blue from 5 to 7. Y'all are welcome to pop by. What we really need you to do is we need you to invite members. People that you think can't normally make a noon meeting, but are interested in being part of a service organization, and they'll probably meet once, maybe twice a month and do a service project. They can attend our meetings when they're available. We can attend theirs. We can share service projects. They are part of our club. It'll just be meeting at a different time. So Stephen will send out a recruiting piece of promo information. And if you know anybody that fits that bill, please, please, please have them come to Blue on October 8th at 5 o'clock.
Thank you so much, Liz. Okay, I just put papers on everybody's table. You have pens on the table. What this is following along the theme of the Red Badge Talk today, it's a way to get to know each other a little bit better. This is going to be an active activity. So you're going to get up, you're going to talk to new people. It's going to be fabulous. It's called the Rotary Club Member Scavenger Hunt. That's pretty difficult to say. So get up, fine. I'm going to give everybody 6 minutes. And the first one who is able to complete this, I have a $25 Rams gift card for you. So time starts now. I feel like we need some Benny Hill style music to go along with this activity. Also keep in mind, not just fill out everyone on the same one. You can do it.
We have 2 minutes remaining. We have 1 minute left. Do we have any minutes close to completing? It was absolutely great to be able to watch that from up here, all the conversations, smiles, and getting to know each other. And so thank you so much. Of course I did. I also did definitely get awesome pictures of you all. But yes, thank you so much, and we are officially adjourned.
I decided, and I'll go here. I decided to put high points on Georgia at home.